Good afternoon, Taylor. Thank you for taking the time to have an interview with me. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
I'm alright. It's a little cold, but
Yes.
all right. So my first question for you is, I hope it's not too invasive, and if you ever don't feel like you don't want to answer, just we'll pass.
Okay.
Why do you go by Taylor instead of John?
Oh, okay. So, this is actually a very funny story. So, freshman year of college, when I came here, I always had my Instagram name as I am Taylor. It's been like that since about junior year. And me not realizing that the first thing people were seeing from me was my Instagram. So when I got here, people started calling me Taylor.
Right.
At first, I was confused on why people was call. Excuse me. I was confused on why people was calling me this,
Mhm.
and I realized, hey, this is my Instagram name. No wonder everybody keeps calling me this.
Really? So they just assume.
They just assumed.
Okay.
So eventually, everybody just started calling me Taylor, and it's been like that ever since.
Right, because that's how I met you. I met you as Taylor, but then when we passed by your door, it said John. Right. Okay. Since being from Harlem, right? Do you feel like the atmosphere is different up here? And if so, like, has it affected you in any way?
I think that the atmosphere definitely is different, but I feel like the effect that it's oh my god, I need some water. But I feel like the effect that it's had on me has been positive. Usually it's very chaotic. You always feel like something's going on. Excuse me. This feels like a real interview. Okay, somebody called me, interrupted. But all right, but yeah. So it was a good different.
Okay.
I felt less like bombarded with things. Like I felt more free being here. So the atmosphere is different, but for me, it's been a positive change.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Was communication studies always your first choice?
No. So originally, when I came to college, I wanted to be an education major. I began as an early childhood education major, and I changed my major to communications later on in my first year. Going back on it, I wish I would have stood as an education major. I really do want to be an educator. I know that you substitute sometimes, so I would love to learn more about that too. Get into like what's that like? I would love to be in the classroom, but yeah, communications was definitely not my first option.
Yeah, it's definitely like substituting. It's a different experience, because like I'm a younger guy, and just being in high school, or it feels like just yesterday, and sitting there, and you write your last name up on the board, like I'm Mr. Randolph, and, it's different, right?
Yeah.
Since studying communication for some time now, do you feel like you've become better at communicating?
Yes, I feel like I've become a more effective communicator. I feel like my vocabulary has enhanced. Like I've been better at being able to speak to people in more professional settings. Additionally to that, a big thing about communication, which people don't realize, is that it has to do a lot about signs, signals, and different things of that nature. Like being able to pick up social cues, on being able to read people. I know we talk about not trying to think before you
Speak.
yeah. But it's a thing. I'm realizing how am I gonna approach a conversation if I'm talking to somebody who seems maybe irritated, or somebody who's overly excited, things of that nature. That will affect the way you
Right, how to
communicate.
approach that situation.
Yes.
So what kind of job do you want after college?
After college, the job that I want is I really want to work in public relations field. I really want to get into being a part of a big organization and creating a place that is safe and inclusive to everybody. I want people to come to the workplace and feel safe, and I want to be that person that sets the boundaries for these places of work.
Right, that's interesting. How is working with disabled individuals? Because in your video you say that you worked at Springbrook. How has working with them helped you become a better communicator? Because I know that they lack some of those social cues or the body language for proper communication. So when they try and communicate with us, it's harder for us to understand. So how do you feel like they've helped you become a better communicator?
It's definitely taught me patience, and it taught me that not everybody's going to be at the speed that you're at, and not everybody's understanding the same way you do.
Right.
If you ever get the chance to go to Springbrook, you will notice that even throughout every single house, there are children that are on different spectrums of communicational skills. So we have some kids that have to communicate through their devices, which is a tablet, or there are kids who are able to speak. Their skills aren't the best, but they should continually try. They speak. They know how to ask for things. I want. I need. And it's really taught me that you need to be thinking about how the person you're communicating with needs to be communicated to.
Right. Okay. That's strong. In your video, you also mentioned that you're in 2 clubs on campus: the Black Student Coalition or Black Student Union and the Student Coalition.
Yeah.
Why did you join those clubs?
So since freshman year, I really wanted to be a part of the Black Student Union. At my high school, we had something similar to it, where it was more of a club catered to black men. And when I came here, I was trying to look for a club, something that every freshman does, looks for a place to be. So I really wanted to be a part of it because I saw the good that they were doing. Their events are really interesting. People in the e-board, executive board seemed like they were having a lot of fun together and really enjoying each other's company. Additionally to that, I wanted to be somebody who was viewed as positive on campus, and the Black Student Union carries that positivity. Yeah. Right. And for the Student of Color Coalition, I joined that club because of the morals and principles that it is based on. We're a social justice club, and we focus on that. And coming to a predominantly white institution, I felt like it was very important for me specifically, to be in a place where I could have a voice for things, different injustices on campus. I've seen many things happen throughout campus where I've seen people's, rights feel as that their rights didn't feel heard, like they didn't feel
valid.
Yeah, so I really want to be a part of that to help them feel that way. So that's the main reason why I joined the Students of Color Coalition.
I'm glad that you found those things and that you joined this club, because I'm sure it's you've gotten a lot of positive aspects from it, and it seems to help more than just you and the community. Alright, so from our recent question, but has being in these clubs helped you find a community?
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure you just answered that, but as a hobby, you said that you like to do photography. How long have you been doing photography for?
I've been doing photography since about 2020. During COVID, there was nothing to do, and my brother had a camera in the house, and I just started using it, and progressively over time, like I just gained a very strong liking for it, like a love for it.
Passion.
A passion, yes. With photography, it really comes and goes sometimes. Sometimes you feel motivated, sometimes you don't. Right now I'm at the point where I'm not really worried about taking pictures right now, but I know when I put the camera in my hand, I'm very talented and I feel happy.
Right.
But sometimes you just gotta,
take a step away from it for a little bit. Right.
You can't burn yourself out.
So it's just a hobby for you, something that you enjoy a lot, but like when to step away from it for a little bit and when to come back.
Yeah, definitely.
My last question for you before we wrap up is, if you could go back and do it all again, would you?
That's very interesting because I was planning on asking you the same question. If I had to backtrack and do something differently, one thing I would do was I wish I would not give up on myself when I was younger. I felt like it's an issue that carried on, and I'm tired of giving up on myself. And it's something I realized just recently, last spring semester. I realized that I just give up on myself too easily. So if I'm going back, I'm not giving up on my interest with basketball, giving up on my interest, outside of basketball, giving up on school. I had a very bad point where I just, I didn't want to go to school. Like I missed half the school year, my sophomore year of high school. And we didn't even have a full sophomore year. We had COVID.
Right, because of COVID.
I was going to school every other day. So I just wish I never really gave up.
Right.
And I realized that for me, nothing happens the first time around. Every time something sticks to me is the second time I do something.
Okay.
I wish it was just you come first time naturally, right? But for me, it's just the second time around.
Right, sometimes you gotta stumble a little bit before you walk, right?
Definitely.
But it says a lot about who you are, your character, that you don't fall, and if you do, you can get back up. But thank you for your time and your opinions and your thoughts, and I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.